Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Carlos Walsh, and as all of y'all know, I am a reporter for the troubled teen industry and a troubled teen industry survivor myself. Today, I have a special guest with me who I have not seen in years, Matthew Duncan. It's so good to see you. He went to Pilgrim's Rest pretty much the same time I did. He left a little bit before I did. Matt, it's great to see you again.
It's good to see you too, man.
Yeah. So, um, as you know, a lot of people have come out and spoken about Pilgrim's Rest and the abuse that happened over there. Why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself to everyone, and then, uh, yeah, tell us about Pilgrim's Rest and what you saw and what you experienced over there.
My name is Matthew Duncan. I was at Pilgrim Rest when I was age of 7 till probably 15 or 16. Um, I, s- I seen a lot happen. Things that honestly that kids should never see.
Yeah.
Things that kids should never have to go through. Um, and basically, I'm a parent too. I have two kids,
Mhm.
so it's hard to see your kid go through what we went through.
Yeah.
No parent should have to send their kid to a boarding school where they think that their kids are protected, but basically they're being abused behind doors.
Mhm.
Nah, just basically physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Mhm.
It's one of the hardest things to go through because it sticks with you for the rest of your life. Um, and you have to, basically just I basically dealt with it. Um, and I've always tried to tell people that, don't don't ever go there. Just don't, because you just don't want to.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that, and it's something that you don't want to go through.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
that's
when it comes to the abuse part, like let's kind of, I mean, I know it like when I'm talking with a lot of students, like it really like triggers them and it brings a lot of memories back. But could you go ahead and kind of explain to me like some of the like abuse that actually happened over there? Like give me details like a certain incident or
um yeah, I mean, I've seen kids basically get their head slammed into walls. I mean, they get their like fingers stepped on, smashed, bent back out of
yeah,
place. I've seen kids get kicked in the ribs. And I mean, and I've seen kids bear crawl like through the snow
yeah,
and for like miles. And when they get back, their fingers are just bloody.
mhm,
And like it, it- that, that basically is something that should never happen.
yeah,
I mean, it's happened to me. I've had to bear crawl for a long, long time, and over time you just get used to it, and that's something that, like I said, that kid should never have to go through.
yeah,
And I mean, me personally, I've been kicked in the ribs, been poked in the eye, had my fingers bent back, stepped on, kicked in the ribs. And it's yeah, it's hard. It
it's
sticks with you.
horrible. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, and like I think any like I understand. Like I asked you, and I've like I said before, I've asked a lot of students. Like when I kind of give me the details and everything, it's traumatizing. It sticks with you, and you're right. It sticks with you for the rest of your life, and it in some ways like affects like how your relationship works with other people.
hmm
And like you're a father, like I remember seeing you post pictures of you and your baby. I'm like, oh my gosh, like Matthew has a baby, and then thinking, oh, well, he has two kids now. And I'm just like, you know, like, can you imagine being a father and then like what, like you said before, having to like think of the idea of your kid going there? It's
yeah.
ridiculous and going what you
It,
like putting them what you have to go through. And now that you're an adult, now that you seeing things at different views, different angles, and like actually seeing the truth for what it is, it's just a whole eye opener. And like all the stuff that happened over there, it's ridiculous. Like if you were to tell your parents that, or if you were to have a video camera on you, like at like where you were at, and if your parents were watching you, they would have immediately pulled you out. Like any right
yeah.
and decent normal parent would have pulled you out just like that. But so when it comes to people abusing you and also abusing me and pretty much all the students there, who are the real perpetrators? Like, can you give me names, like staff member names, like who really like got into it and like who like really actually
Um,
like
I know. I think we all basically know the answer to that one. But me
yeah,
personally, the top ones that come to my mind is Kelly, and Josh. Those
Kelly
were
and
the main
Josh.
ones.
Yeah.
And I basically, I didn't have a problem without anybody else. John was okay with me. And all the teachers were fine, but it's just mainly Kelly and Josh.
Yeah.
They, you know, Kelly is supposed to be, I can understand from his background, he's military, but that, and these parents are putting their trust in their kids in your hands to
Mhm.
protect them and to teach them and keep them out of trouble.
Yeah.
But you go behind doors and you abuse them.
Mhm.
And Josh, on the other hand, he was the type of person that he followed in dad's footsteps.
Yeah.
He wanted to be like dad. He was basically like dad, but in
Yeah.
a different perspective.
Mhm.
He basically went out of hand. They both did. What they did was very unacceptable. And the things that happened there, it stays with you for a long time. And me as a parent, it's going to be hard for my kids to grow up and me explain to them what I had to go through.
Yeah.
But as for, kids like me and my brother, we went to the same program. So me and him, we basically went through the same things.
Yeah.
We both, it was traumatizing for us.
Mhm.
And me and him are both doing good. He's in the military. I got a job. So we don't want to let that affect us nowadays. We still talk about it. We go through things, but those were the main people that basically used their power for granted.
Yeah.
So.
So like you mentioned your brother. Like I actually had the pleasure of talking to him before he went into the military, even after he came out of basic, and he's doing great. He's a tanker and everything. And I was like, no, I'm proud of you. And he came to me and he talked to me. He's like, so I'm thinking about joining the army. Like, what do I do? I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, well, here's what not to do.
Yeah.
And then but he said, hey, I went to recruiter and then it kept going. Now he's at a basic, now he's at AIT or OSET. He went to
I
OSET and
mean,
like he's doing
dude is
great.
smart. He's doing great. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him.
So
Me.
like when it comes to your brother, like your brother, you and your brother were there at the same time. Like, I mean, he came maybe about a year or two after you, but
Mhm.
y'all were in that same school. Like, what was it like? Like, did you see your brother ever get abused?
Oh yeah, multiple times. And as my brother, my brother he's the type of person that he's hard headed. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Every kid at that age is hard headed.
Yeah.
But seeing my brother abused, that just it triggered something inside of me of wanting to fight back.
Yeah.
But if you fight back, it's just gonna get worse.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, it, I mean, we, me and my brother, we always got in trouble. We always fought. We always wrestled. That's what brothers do. But we, it just that was kind of hard. I mean, it's really hard to see your sibling that you grew up with, and that you're really close to get abused.
Yeah.
And it's there, and you knew there was nothing you could do.
Mhm.
And number one, that because you're stuck there.
Yeah.
There's no getting out. There's no saying I want to go home. You're stuck there, and seeing my brother have to go through that, it's hard. It sticks with me today. But I try to not let it affect me.
Yeah.
We I mean, me and him, we talk every now and then. We talk about our struggles and things like that. So it was hard. It was one of the hardest things to deal with. And trying to tell your parents of what's going on
Mhm.
and them not believing you because you're a kid. So they think, oh, you're just making things up.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's really interesting that you bring that up because like that is one of the biggest problems that when a lot of students come forward and they talk to you about this stuff, they talk to us, not their parents. They say, yeah, I tried telling my parents and they didn't believe us because we were sent to Pilgrim's Rest for a
Right.
reason. And we have a reputation, I guess you could say, of lying and stuff, and that's all good. But when it comes to your child being abused and him telling you, and multiple children telling their parents, and those parents shun them away, there's a problem. You
Yeah.
know, there's a massive problem with that. And I don't care how much that child has lied to me. When they mention abuse, sexual, mental, physical, any of that, you know I'm going to be on it. And especially you
Yeah.
as a father, can you imagine your
Oh yeah.
child coming home
You
and
know,
telling
and
you
me as
I
a
was
father,
abused? Yeah,
yeah. Me as a father, it's, no matter what my kid does, and if, like my daughter's a daddy's girl. So no matter
yeah,
what, if she says, he hurt me, I'm gonna believe my kid. Okay.
absolutely.
Because that's my child. I'm not gonna believe that my child's just making something up. When she says, he hit me, okay, I'm gonna believe her because, I've been there.
Yeah,
I've know what it feels like, and that's my kid. So I'm not just gonna be like, oh no, you're just making things up. No, 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 no. That doesn't work.
mhm,
You're to love your kid no matter what happens, and for them to tell you, I'm doing something happened to me, you just don't push them away.
yeah.
You're supposed to figure out what's going on and things like that. So
So you and your brother both told your parents that this was happening, right?
yep.
Both of you told them, and they didn't believe both of you. They didn't believe any of you. That is insane. That is crazy. Uh,
Because me and
and
my
like,
brother, the reason we went there is because we did the same things. We wrestled at home. We broke stuff. We were kids.
yeah,
So, and they always thought we were troublemakers. That was
mhm,
that was the big word at Pilgrim's Rest.
yeah,
Troublemaker.
troublemakers. Yeah, I remember that.
If you caused a problem, you were considered a troublemaker.
Well, yeah,
And nobody believed you. Well, okay, if somebody tells you something, there's got to be a reason for it.
mhm,
Okay. And two kids, brothers, in fact, trying to tell their parents the same thing, but you don't believe them. There's something wrong there. Like you said, there's something wrong.
yeah.
There's no trust there. And that was the biggest thing.
So another thing. So what did your parents say when you tried telling them? Like when you like, I don't know if you and your brother actually like both went up to them and said, "Hey, this happened. This is what happened," or it was just one of you. When you told them, what were your parents' reactions? Like, what did it like? Do you remember what they told you?
Um, Basically, quit trying to make stuff up.
Mhm.
We know what you're trying to do. We know you're trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
Wow.
And I remember times calling them on the phone, crying, and saying, this has got to stop.
Yeah.
And they go, well, you know how to stop it. You need to stop getting in trouble.
Mhm.
And for your parent to tell you that the reason that is happening is because you're causing problems. Okay, I can understand a punishment for doing something wrong,
Yeah.
but kicking a kid in the ribs, bending your fingers back, smashing their fingers, poking their eyes, yeah, that's too far.
Mhm.
And their reaction pretty much was, get over it and stop causing trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Pretty much every child that's come to me, or I'm sorry, they're not children anymore. I keep referring to them as children, but like we're all grown adults now. But
Yeah,
like every one of these former students that comes to me and they say we tried telling our parents, just gets shunned away, and
yeah,
it's really sad. I think it's that mentality that okay, like it's just this whole thing. Like there's something behind it. There's got to be like a bigger hand in these schools, and there's got to be something going on that we don't see. You know,
right.
and this school hadn't been touched until someone came out and finally spoke out about it. And now that it's happening, now that like all the abuse allegations that are going on over there, and like people coming forward, they're starting to double down. And like a lot of students who are coming out that both me and and I won't mention their names for the sake of this podcast or this channel, but a lot of students who are coming out are so warped into believing that Van Rookoy, what he did and what his staff members did, like are right in what they're doing because they were bad kids, and they needed some kind of discipline. Which, okay, I understand if you are a troubled teen and like you have things going on that like someone needs to someone needs to address in a disciplinary matter and have some structure in your life, that's one thing. But if it goes to the extent of where you're hurting a child, you miss the whole idea of helping that child.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that my camera's off. Like I said, I got kids to deal with and things like that. So
Hey, it's understandable.
it's a hassle.
I understand, man. Okay, there was one more big question I was going to ask you. So where did you go? Yeah, where did you go after Pilgrim's Rest? Did you go home or did you go somewhere else?
Honestly, man, I left when I was probably 15 or 16.
Yeah.
And it was hard to leave because, number one, my brother was still there.
Mhm.
So, me wondering, okay, what's going to happen to him, because me and my brother are close. So, I did not go home. I got transferred to another school in Missouri, which was basically kids that are older, that are
Uh-huh.
between the ages of 17 and 20.
Okay.
So, and I guess my parents thought it would be, better structure for me being around older kids and, learn, what they're going through.
Yeah.
It was basically like the same thing, but basically more strict.
Mhm.
At Pilgrim's Rest, you had the ability, you could talk to people, and you could interact with other kids. But where at this program, you couldn't even look at the kids or you'd get in trouble.
Wow.
If you looked at the kid, you got in trouble. They basically had a rule book where they had all these rules that you had to follow. There was over about 50 rules,
Yeah.
where and um you basically had, it's called CET, curricular activity something.
Okay.
And it's basically like punishment, where they make you run laps all day long. They make you do squats, push-ups, sit-ups. And if you're, it's hard because, having to come from a school that was just like that and go to another school that's the same exact way,
Yeah.
it's hard because, I guess the first one didn't break me down enough. I guess they had to break me down more. But
Okay. So, and
so
what was the name of this school? Can you tell me that one?
it was Anchor Academy.
Anchor Academy in
Yeah,
Missouri.
yeah, and I knew a couple kids that came from Pilgrim's Rest. We all probably know one. Tyler Ferguson.
Ferguson. I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, he went there, and Bearcat. I don't know if you remember him.
I remember Bearcat. Yeah.
Yep, he was there too. And basically, those kids basically said it was hard to transfer from a school like Pilgrim's Rest to another school just like them.
Yeah.
And it was just hard
I
because
understand. Yeah.
we've already been through enough.
Mhm.
So
Wow. That is insane. I was there for 12 years and I didn't get transferred once, but like there were kids there who like were there for like 1-2 years and they were already getting transferred, and you guys like 5-6 years getting transferred to like different schools, which brings up another good point of these schools all know each other. It's like this is why it's called an industry. It's an underground industry, the troubled teen industry, and they
mhm.
have so many facilities all across the U.S. and it is insane how all of this is going. How
Yep.
they're so connected. But yeah, thank you so much for joining the channel and
You're
telling me, giving me so much information. And I understand this brings up a lot of pain and stuff, but like you guys are heroes. You guys are survivors. Not You guys aren't just only survivors. You guys are thrivers in this world. You guys didn't allow what happened and all the abuse that you guys had to see. You didn't allow it to get you down, and you pressed on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, brother. Hey, be careful. God bless. Be
You
safe
too, man.
and take it easy.
All
All
right, you too,
right.
man.
And we're out, and we are going to upload more videos on the troubled teen industry and more survivors out of PRMR. Thank you so much for joining the channel. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment in what you guys want to hear next, certain topics of anything in the troubled teen industry. Be safe. God bless. And I'll see you in the next video. And we're out.